Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Amateur Commentator. I am Anshul and along with Somit we have been discussing the IPL auction strategies, the possible playing 11 and the team analysis for all the 10 teams in IPL 2022. This is the third and final installment in the three-part series where we will be talking about the Mumbai Indians squad, CSK and also the Delhi Capitals. But before moving on to the video, I would request all our viewers to please like, subscribe and share our content and spread the word about the Amateur Commentator.
Let's go to the next team, the most successful team in IPL, who, in my opinion, have had a pretty poor auction, I would say. I mean, I know that
Pretty
there are
poor
a lot
would
of
be an
experts.
understatement, I would say.
I know a lot of experts are actually rating them pretty highly and going gung ho about their auction strategy and how they were patient, and I think they missed out on a lot of good players. I mean, they were bidding, but because they had a set strategy that they would like to get certain players, and if they have to break the bank for those players, they will break the bank. I think they lost out on some really good talents. Um, so
I feel
let's
they
just
only
start.
had strategy for three players. One was Ishan Kishan, one was Jofra Archer, which we know will not play this year, and the third player they had in the radar was Arjun Tendulkar. I don't see any other fourth player which was a strategic choice which they had.
Uh, I think it was an interesting thing when Gujarat Titans bid for Arjun, because I thought if they would have gone a bit higher and if Mumbai would have left Arjun for Gujarat Titans, I think half of Mumbai's fan base would have moved to Gujarat because Tendulkar would have been in that Gujarat dugout for sure. So I think that was an interesting bit of a couple of moments there. So let's start with their team. Let's start with their retention. Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Pollard. That's a pretty heavy retention. That's quite a good retention. I guess one of the best, if not the best, uh, retained players, retained group of players that were there, and they added Ishan Kishan to that. The only thing possibly is how much they had to spend on these five players. So I know you are not a big fan of them retaining Pollard, so why not begin with
See,
that?
it's not that I'm not a big fan of Kyron Pollard. I feel his prime form, the days of prime form has already gone way long. I don't see him performing that well in this IPL. I have not seen him performing that well in the last couple of seasons. So, yes, three out of the four retention were good. Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav, and Jasprit Bumrah. Maybe, again, this is my opinion. Uh, Add in Ishan Kishan there. So, out of the four, like Rohit Sharma, Yadav, Surya Kumar Yadav, Bumrah, and Ishan Kishan, they could have retained any three of the four. I would not have retained Karen Pollard. I would have still, taken that 6 crores and we could have utilized that money. I don't see a point of spending 8 crores with Jofra Archer when you know that he's not going to play in this season. People are talking about, Jofra Archer and Jasprit Bumrah will bowl together. You do not know whether Jofra Archer will come back to the IPL or not. Next year, England have Ashes at home. What if ECB does not give him an NOC? What if his injury flares up? We do not know because he's not there in this season. They are bidding for something which is 1.5 years down the line. You're not talking about or you're not thinking about this season. I would still say that they are still a pretty decent squad, but they have made a lot of blunders. I mean, like, let's talk about the possible playing 11 which we can think of, for Mumbai Indians. Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan will directly slot him. We will directly have Surya Kumar Yadav there. We will have Kyron Pollard there. Now they have picked up Tilak Verma. They have Tim David in the squad. So I guess in the based on the recent performances in the domestic from Tilak Verma and what Tim David has done recently, They should fit in the top 6 at least. They need to get Daniel Sims. They have they have got Murugan Ashwin here. Okay. Tamil Mills is one of the better bowlers, I would say, for England in their T20 format. And then you have Bumrah and Markandey. So this is a pretty decent, top 11, I would say. But you do not have much depth after beyond this. You do not have a like for like replacement when you talk about, say, Rohit Sharma. We all know fitness issues for Rohit Sharma. He has not been one of the fittest player in the recent last 1.5 year. He has missed a lot of IPL matches in last couple of seasons. Who do you have, to fill in his place? Yes, you have, Fabian Annan as one of the options. You have Deval Brevis, but he's pretty young. You do not have a lot of option to fill someone like Rohit Sharma. Say you ended up spending 15 crores odd for Ishan Kishan. What if he get injured for few of the games? Would you slot in someone like Aryan Jewel, for whom you have bidded? He is an unknown entity and he's very young at this arena. So my only concern is if one of the main players on whom they are banking, which is Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, and Jasprit Bumrah, if one of the 3 players get injured and they miss, say, 4 or 5 games, you do not have a backup.
So, I was going through the squad again, and a few interesting names. Deval Brevis, he's called the baby AB. He was the top scorer in the under-19, recently concluded under-19, and he did look like AB de Villiers. There were similar shots and all, but that's a level below what IPL has to offer. I mean, under-19 cricket is nowhere near what IPL. IPL for now has been better than most international T20 tournaments. I would be tempted to say it has been better than T20 World Cups. So how he performs at this level is a question mark. But yes, that kid has got talent. They picked up a couple of Indian pace bowlers, Basil Thampi and Jaidev Unadkat. I like Unadkat a lot. I think he's a pretty underrated bowler. He played for India at a very young age and then he was discarded, and he has been putting in the hard yards in domestic cricket, and he has not got his India cap once again. But saying that, he's now 30, 31, journeyman cricketer kind of thing in the IPL sense. We know he can bowl cutters, he can bowl the change-ups, but how good a replacement is he for Bumrah if Bumrah gets injured? Obviously, there is no match for Jasprit Bumrah. They may play him in place of Mayank Markandey, the squad that you said. But that makes their spin
very weak.
The spin bowling lineup very weak. They just have Murugan Ashwin and Mayank Markandey. That's a downgrade from Rahul Chahar, I would say. I mean, I like Murugan Ashwin as a bowler, but I don't think he's as good as Rahul Chahar. With Rahul Chahar, you had the possibility of him improving even further because he was just 22, 23. I'm a bit concerned about their bowling attack. You cannot take any bowling attack lightly when you have Jasprit Bumrah in there. But it still looks like the other bowlers are Markandey, Timal Mills, Murugan Ashwin, Daniel Sams, some overs from Tim David and Kieron Pollard. That's not a threatening attack.
No, one thing I was surprised. One thing I was coming to Jofra Archer. One thing I was surprised is they bid 8 crores for Jofra Archer, who will not be playing for them this season. But they did not retain, or they were not willing to, get back Trent Bolt. They could have tried getting Trent Bolt at least, but they were not simply interested there, I felt. Because you are essentially, and he has performed for them consistently. And probably, Trent Bolt and Bumrah were among the top 2 pace bowler players in IPL.
Even someone like Mitch McClenaghan, when they had Mitch McClenaghan, so they have had pretty decent left-arm bowlers in the past few seasons. Bolt has been there, McClenaghan was there, Mustafizur was there a few seasons back, and Delhi got him for 2 crores. So they had opportunities to get some good backup bowlers. I'm disappointed the way they went there. As I said earlier, I mean they have missed out on a lot of players because they had a set strategy, and with auctions, what happens is that sometimes you don't know when a player is coming, right? And I think they have misread the situation a lot. I think this team looks pretty weak. They have a Riley Meredith in there, but then again, it will be a tussle between Meredith and Timal Mills. If you are going to go for pace, you will go for Meredith. But Mills is a more skillful bowler. He has discovered his form back again. What he was 3, 4, 5 years back, I guess. When Bangalore took him at that point of time, he was doing pretty well in England, and now again he has got that form back. But he has never been a good IPL bowler, so I don't know how he will perform. Riley Meredith was there with Punjab, again not that successful last time around. So yes, there are certain issues in the squad, but I'd like to name a couple of young Indian players that they have taken and that I've heard good things about them. One is Tilak Burma, and Tilak Burma. He will possibly be starting the first game as at number 3. Looking at how the squad is and what the possible 11s could be, there's a possibility that Tilak Burma could be at number 3. This guy is a future India prospect. He's just 19, 20. He looks pretty solid, and there is a possibility that going forward this guy will play for India. Mumbai are known to get these kind of players and then develop them into world beaters. They got Kunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah. So they have a track record of bringing unknown entities and making them world beaters. And I think Tilak Burma could be one of those players. There is another guy called Sanjay Yadav, a spinning all-rounder. That's another. He's not young. He's 25, 26, but good things from what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing. He could be a good prospect. In fact, there's a possibility that he could start in the 11, maybe ahead of someone like a Markande, because I think Murugan Ashwin is pretty much their number 1 spin bowler, and he is going to play most of the games. So those are 2 players. Anmolpreet Singh is another one whom they have kept again. So he was there with them last time as well. But they have picked up a lot of Indian players at base rate at the end of the auction. Arshad Khan, Anmolpreet, Ramandeep, Rahul Buddhi. The only issue I have is these are not 18, 19-year-old kids. These are 24-year-old players who are not top draw in domestic cricket.
I think those are just the knee-jerk reaction of what they were not able to achieve in the first phase of the auction. I know I'm dwelling a bit away from the cricket, but when you see what Mumbai or RCB or Gujarat did with their squads, I think more than the cricket experts, you also need analysts on your table whom you got to listen to when you are picking up the team. Because not long ago, the people from the ECB or the likes of Nasir Hussain or Arthurton, they were talking about Mahela Jayawardene as one of the prospects for England's white ball cricket coach. I'm not sure if they would be willing to do the same once they look at the squad which Zahir Khan and Mahela were able to pick up.
I think Jayawardene is still a top draw. He's one of the best.
From the coaching point of view, I completely agree. But I'm not sure about the squads which they were able to pull up.
But I think Zahir Khan as director of cricket has been there. He understands the system. The Ambanis respect his views. And the only caveat here is that Mumbai are known to develop good players. So I'm not confident going against what they have bought. My only issue is that Arshad Khan, Anmolpreet, Ramandeep, Rahul Buddhi, these are 24-year-old, as I said, 24-year-old players. Now, 24, 25. These are not how would I put it? These are not young chickens. These are not 18, 19-year-old kids whom you can develop and like they have a prospect for or playing for India. So maybe one of them comes up. I'm not sure. There are a couple of players who I think could do well. As I said, one is Tilak Verma. The other one is Aryan Juyal, the wicketkeeper. I have heard that he's a good player. He's a good hitter. So maybe I guess he's from UP. He is in their Ranji squad as well. We'll be discussing that at a later stage. So I think Aryan Joyal, Tilak Verma, Dewald Brevis. Let's take Dewald Brevis. They would be developing a good talent for South Africa. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
all in
Tilak
all,
Verma will be
not
there
too
in most
impressed.
of the games for playing, but I believe at somewhere down the line, Dewald Brevis, Aryan Joel, and I would not be surprised if Arjun Tendulkar gets to play one or two games. See,
I'm not sure.
I understand
Okay,
that this Mumbai
so
team,
yeah,
they can still go ahead and win the tournament for all that matters. But this Mumbai squad is probably the weakest Mumbai squad of all the IPL seasons I've seen.
so yeah, I would not disagree with that. I would not disagree with that. Talking about Arjun Tendulkar, I think I don't see him playing above someone like Jadeja Unadkat or for that matter Basil Thampi. So I don't see Arjun Tendulkar playing there. Uh, Others, let's see how Tilak Verma performs, because I'm looking forward to him playing at number 3. He's a good prospect. Uh, some other things that we have noted down here. I mean, no replacements for top Indian players. That's something that you have said. Uh, they they could have better utilized the money. I completely
Absolutely.
agree with that. Tim David, Kyron Pollard, Daniel Sams. That 5, 6, and 7. I have my doubts. I mean, who am I to doubt Kyron Pollard? I know, but he is not young anymore. He's 35, 36. And we saw how Chahal, bamboozled him in the first T20. I think that I'm not sure how good a player of spin Tim David is and Daniel Sams is, because even if it's the 16th over of a game and these players come to bat, I think that other teams will keep their spinners. I feel that they may not be able to hit through the line, and so that's my worry. And then if you look at the bottom 4, Murugan, Ashwin, Timal Mills, Bumrah, and Markanday, or whoever they bring in, not good batters. So that essentially means that their top 6 have to deliver. Kyron Pollard needs
Absolutely.
to have a pretty good season. Otherwise, because they didn't qualify last season as well. It's not like this season they are weak. They didn't qualify last season as well. And when people say that Mumbai are building for 2, 3, 4 seasons down the line, I don't see that, because apart from
Ishan
Tilak
Kishan,
Verma,
Tilak Verma,
whom we have spoken a lot, and Ishan
absolutely.
Kishan, who are the others? The other players, the young Indian players that they have taken are 24, 25. They will be 26, 27, 28 going forward. Not good prospects.
I think
So
one more thing which they could have done
I'm
as a
disappointed.
replacement for, I'll not say that a direct replacement for Jasprit Bumrah is, they could have picked someone like Ishan Sharma at base price. It was towards the end of the
I agree.
auction. So that you will have at least one fallback option when Jasprit Bumrah is not able to play games. I don't see, Basil Thampi or Unadkat leading the pace attack when, you have likes of Daniel Sams and Tamil Mills, who have not played that many games for IPL teams. So that is something which I felt they missed a trick there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Their bowling looks weak except for Bumrah, and their middle order, it's full of promise and potential, but I somehow feel that if the wicket is not, if there is no true bounce and it does not have pace, I am not sure how Tim David and Daniel Sams are going to play. I mean, I've seen them play, but and they are in good hitting form, but not confident about.
And
Not
one
confident
thing,
about
see,
Mumbai
I'm
Indians.
a big fan of CSK, but you have likes of Raina sitting there and he was not even there in the bid. But they still have money and they still have places open where he could have easily slotted in.
So talking
Again,
about
that's
CSK,
just one example.
so let's move on to Chennai Super Kings, the team which you are talking about, Anshul. Ruturaj Gaikwad, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Ravindra Jadeja, Moeen Ali, good retentions. Uh, what are your views? They've got almost the same team back minus Faf. So yeah,
See, I am a big fan of CSK, so I might be biased here. But there are two things which I didn't like. One, getting Shivam Dubey at that price. I felt they should have gone the other way out. They should have picked up.
One for local lad, Vijay Shankar.
Yeah. See, Vijay Shankar again has not, lit up the IPL or international scenario, but I would have still preferred Vijay Shankar over Shivam Dubey. Even getting Vijay Shankar at 4 crore, I would have been happy than Shivam Dubey at 1 crore 40 lakhs. I know the numbers are other way around, but I'm saying that I would have been happy with Vijay Shankar. The second part, what I felt is Karun Nair was one of the players who was sold at towards the later part of the auction. They could have gone for him because, again, he might not have slotted into the playing 11, but they would have had an option in the middle order if all Uthappa or, for an example, Rayudu, they are not in form.
Yeah.
Because Rayudu and Uthappa have not been playing, competitive cricket either in the first class or anywhere else in a regular basis. So I would have probably felt much secured if they would have gone for someone like Karun Nair. He also has the understanding of playing slow and low cricket. When you talk about playing spinners, he's a much better spin player bowler. And I know not this year, but moving forward, if matches are back again in Chennai, he would have been a very good addition to the middle order, because you do not expect Robin Uthappa or Rayudu to continue more than 1 or 2 seasons after this. So I felt those are the two misses from the CSK based on my opinion. Rest, I feel this is among the top 2 or top 3 strongest squad for this year's IPL. Yes, I would like to see Mitchell Santner more in the playing 11, but I don't see his, Moeen Ali being Moeen Ali there, Dwayne Bravo there, David Conway there. I don't see Santner getting that many chances. The one thing which I liked more was they bought Adam Milne. Yes, they were not able to retain Josh Hazelwood. I don't know whether that was a strategic choice. They did not retain NDD. I am not sure whether that was also a strategic choice, but I think Milne is a very good addition to the squad. Now, saying that, they also have bought one spinner, Mahish Thikshana from Sri Lanka. He's pretty young. I know he is someone who is expensive right now in when they are playing against Australia T20 side. But I believe that is one position where they can try also someone like Prashant Solanki, whom they have bought. If Solanki can click, they can very well go ahead with Milne and Bravo or Jordan and Moeen Ali, because I feel for this side Bravo or Jordan, one of them will be playing, and both of them provide a very good death bowling option. But the biggest surprise for me was Deepak Chahar at that price. He's a very good player, and he's a better replacement for Shardul Thakur, I would say. And he's a very good addition to this team. The one thing I would feel is
he's not an addition. He was already there.
Yeah, I know.
For 14 crore, I guess that's the word that is bandied around a lot. Auction dynamics. So I think auction dynamics. Chahar playing couple of pretty good innings for India. I think 14 crore. That's why he got those. Yeah.
And one thing I would not be surprised is orange cap holder again from CSK, and I would bet either Ruturaj Gaikwad or even Devon Conway. I think those two are pretty solid top order for CSK. Devon Conway is in a very good form. He is a very underrated batsman right now.
So Chennai. So for me, Chennai are going to be my second favorite side this season. Just for one fact. they have picked up the Odisha captain, the Odisha white ball captain, possibly the Odisha red ball captain, Shubhranshu Senapati. I'm seeing an Odia player in IPL after a long, long time. I don't know whether he will get a chance to show us what he is made of, but I'm pretty happy. I'm chuffed for Shubhranshu Senapati getting picked in the IPL. Coming to the composition of the squad, I feel it's a decent starting 11, perhaps one of the strongest starting 11. I have my doubts on Shivam Dube a bit. He has not lit up the IPL. He was supposed to be this good, hard-hitting left-hander batsman. He had shades of Yuvraj Singh and all, but they all came from this one tournament that he played in I guess it was a local domestic tournament in Mumbai that he played, and he hit some good sixes, and then that propelled him to IPL and then a position in the Indian team as well. He has not, the potential is there, but he has not done well. Other than that, I still feel that there is something that Rayudu can offer. There's something that Uthappa can offer, and if they don't if Uthappa or Rayudu are not performing well, I actually like Narayan Jagdishan. Is again another Tamil Nadu player. He's a wicket keeper by profession, but he's a very good batsman. He's young. He's like mid-20s, so I like him. I like their foreign takes. Bravo obviously has been there for a long, long time now. Jordan, good depth bowler, good hitter. Adam Milne is a very good replacement for Josh Hazelwood. He's probably a bit quicker than Hazelwood as well. Mahesh Tikshana, spinner. I think they needed another spinner apart from Jadeja and Moeen Ali, and I think Tikshana for a long term buy, Mahesh Tikshana is very good. I'm hearing good things about him. I'm reading good things about him, and I'll love to see how he performs. Devon Conway has had a great start to his career. He came to international cricket a bit later than other players, but there are a lot of parallels with Mike Hussey, another Chennai legend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Devon Conway opening with Ruturaj Gaikwad, who had like four odd centuries in 5 matches in Vijay Hazare. So he's in absolutely top form. So Ruturaj Gaikwad, Devon Conway, Moeen Ali, Rayudu, Dube, a bit iffy, but I think Rayudu is a very experienced player. He will do a job for them. Then you have the likes of Jadeja, Chahar, Bravo, and obviously Dhoni is there. And we all saw what he did in the playoffs last year. So there is still 1 or 2 matches if Dhoni can give them with the bat, because his keeping is still there. He's still the best stumper in the IPL. And I feel they've got a decent squad. They've got good foreign backups. I like this squad a lot. I rate it pretty highly.
They bought Shivam Dube, so I feel they would start with him in the playing 11. But if he's not able to perform, I believe Uthappa will come back to in his place, because what Chennai has is the luxury of Moeen Ali, Jadeja, and then 4 more bowlers. So they have decent bowling options. So that's why even if Shivam Dube plays, yeah.
The only problem I have with that is that I don't think Robin Uthappa is a good fit in the middle order. So if Uthappa comes in, he has to go up, so that means that Convoy has to come down to 3, or maybe Convoy has to come down to 4 if Moeen is playing at number 3. So that's my only concern if Uthappa comes in, because I like Uthappa. I think he still has a lot to offer. I know that people talk about getting a young squad and getting them ready for long term, but it is also about winning tournaments, winning matches. Chennai have shown that, with the old squad. They were called the Daddy Army 4 years back in the 2018 auction, and since then they have won 2 IPLs. So I mean, I feel like it's a pretty good squad. They Ambati Rayudu and Robin Uthappa still have at least a season in them, if not two. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that
And other few picks
that's
which I
my take
would
on it.
like to talk about is Dwayne Pretorius. Yeah, I know Dwayne Bravo has done exceedingly well for CSK, but in case he is not playing all the matches and you need someone other for different conditions, I think Dwayne Pretorius is someone who will fill that void. You have KM Asif and you have Tushar Deshpande, two of the pace bowlers which are not expected to play straight away in the playing lineup, but at least from the options point of view, CSK has that thing covered. And they are not just medium pace bowlers; they are brisk pace bowlers, and that is
Yeah,
something which is good about the backup which they have. They've also gone with
yeah,
Hunger Gaker. I'm not sure whether he will get a chance or not, but I think it will be a very good learning experience for him being in the same squad as, say, for likes of Adam Mill, learning from MS Dhoni, and when you
yeah.
have Stephen Fleming also in this team
So
management.
I was coming to that actually. Both Tushar Deshpande and Hunger Gekar. He's a 19-year-old kid who bowls at 135, 140. So there's a lot to work there. Tushar Deshpande has been a net bowler for Chennai. So they have picked him up based on what they saw in the nets. So I believe that there is a possibility that he may also start. They may give him some matches. All in all, the squad looks good. There are certain issues. Obviously, when you have an aging squad, you know that you'll not have the best of fielding sides. The Chennai are not going to field their way to the finals. But and with all data analytics and young players and everything, I still feel that there is a value to experience. I don't want to sound like old, uh, an old timer, nostalgic about what how cricket was good at like 10 years back. No, it is not. Cricket has improved a lot in these last 10, 15 years. Data analytics plays a big role, matchups play a big role. But I think having an MS Dhoni running the show from behind the stumps, having an experienced side, it is worth its weight in gold. This
Absolutely.
Chennai side, this Chennai side looks to be one of the top contenders for this time,
I'm only
for
concerned
this year's
about
IPL.
one thing is the fitness of Ravindra Jadeja. He has not played a lot of cricket in the last couple of months, because why he is important not just for CSK point of view. India will also venture into T20 World Cup in a couple of months after IPL is over. So yeah, the fitness of Jadeja is a bit of concern for me. Saying that, this year IPL is a 10-team tournament. So when we are talking about seven playing in the playing 11, and you need to have at least 3-4 decent backups, having 100 Indian players to be able to fit in into playing 11, it's a very difficult job. But I still feel Chennai and Delhi are among the two teams who have been able to do that, like by not just only picking up the players who will directly slot into the playing 11, but also having decent backup options. So I believe, since you and me both feel that this is among the strongest team in the this year IPLs, it's time to let's move on to the next and our
Yeah,
last team of the season. That is Delhi.
let's move on to the last team for today, Delhi Capitals. I think Delhi Capitals have been the most consistent side in the last 4 years. Yes, they have not won an IPL. Mumbai and Chennai have beaten them to the post, but in the league phases over the last 4 years, they have been the most consistent team. This time around, let me first raise a concern about the team, and it is that their bowling is a downgrade than last year. Last year they had Ashwin, they had Avesh, they had Kagiso Ravada, they had Henrik Nokia, and they had Akshar Patel. That was and Marcus Stoinis to back them up. So that was a pretty strong bowling lineup. But this year around, I think yes, there is a downgrade in the bowling a bit, but I think overall the squad still looks pretty decent, pretty good. I think the best opening combination that we have in this tournament, I'm willing to bet my house on it that Prithvi Shaw and David Warner are the best best opening combination that we have. I'll just start with their retention. Shaw, Pant, Akshar Patel, and Enric Nokia. I feel it is very difficult to judge Delhi's retention just because of whom they have let go. They have let go of Shikhar Dhawan, Kagiso Rabada, Ravichandran Ashwin, Avesh
Shreyas Iyer.
Khan, Shreyas Iyer. Now, out of these five names that I have taken, four were in the marquee group, and Avesh Khan went for 10 crore. So obviously, they did some really good job developing, not developing these players, because obviously we know that Rabada and Ashwin and Dhawan, Delhi didn't develop. But yeah, they had a pretty decent squad, and they were not wishing this auction to happen. They were looking forward to taking the same team. So looking at that, I think they have tried to go for the younger lot. So they went with Shaw, Pant, Patel, and Nokia rather than let's say Dhawan or for that matter Ashwin. Shreyas Iyer, I think it was a captaincy issue. The player had to choose. He was not the first choice retention. He was not going to become the captain after Rishabh Pant had taken that mantle. So, so now looking at the team, what do you think? David Warner and Mitch Moss were their first two picks. So I'd ask you to pick up.
I'll start with the bowling first. What you
Okay.
mentioned was, it's a weaker bowling lineup, but I would be happy to be in Delhi's shoes when I have this kind of bowling lineup any day. You have Ngidi, who, if not like to like, but is a very close competitor to Rabada. You have Mustafizur Rahman, who is a pretty decent left-arm bowler, even in deaths, even in the power play. You have Shardul Thakur. I know he is not someone who is a very, out and outright pace bowler, but we have to agree he's an impact player. Whichever team he plays into, he creates an impact which other players have not been able to do that.
And he has the Delhi attitude also. So
Absolutely.
that is something.
And you have Chetan Sakaria. So, you essentially Delhi have picked among the best bowlers from other team. You have Sakaria from Rajasthan. You have Mustafizur from Mumbai. You have Ngidi from CSK. So these are very good bowlers. And when you club it with, Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar Patel, I think this is one of the most well-rounded bowling attack, I would say, in this year's IPL tournament. Now, coming back to David Warner and Mitchell Marsh, I'm not sure what has happened inside the camps of SRH, but it should have been really bad that they let off David Warner, because that's the worst decision they would have made. That's my opinion. Letting off David Warner. It's a different thing that he's not in form. So Kane Williamson took over in the middle of the tournament last year. That is entirely separate issue, and it's completely understandable if it's not scoring runs and team is not performing well. But after you have seen what happened in the World Cup, David Warner scored the maximum amount of runs, and still you let him go off. So that was something which was beyond my understanding. So I think Prithvi Shaw and David Warner can be the most devastating pair in this year tournaments. And Mitchell Marsh, I believe he's in the form of the life. I saw few matches in the Big Bash League, irrespective of who the spinner is. That includes Rashid Khan as well and Mohammad Nabi as well. Irrespective of where the ball is pitching, he used to just sit down and sweep the ball, and he used to go into the stands. He is a muscle built in like 6'4", 6'5" frame. I think he would be one of the best, if not the top scorer, but he would be one of the most feared batsmen in this year's IPL tournament. One thing I'm afraid that he might not last for the entirety of the tournament because of fitness issues. So to counter that, I would recommend that he should not bowl. Delhi should not view him as a bowling option, only as a top order batsman. So that is something which I would want him to do that. The interesting pick here, I would say, is KS Bharat. I know he has been in shim of Indian Test team in the sidelines, and it would be a good experience for him. assuming he is able to get one or two games, which I don't see happening in the initial part of the tournament. The other important aspect here is someone like Lalit Yadav and Sarfaraz Khan. These two are pretty exciting young talent. Sarfaraz Khan was someone who was let go of by RCB. Then same thing happened with PBKS. I think this is he's one of the batsmen who will complete this batting order, because you have a very strong top four. Sarfaraz Khan would be someone who would bat with the tail order and take the score of Delhi from say 150 to 200 most number of occasions, because at then you will have Axar Patel, you will have Shardul Thakur, so you have a very good extended batting lineup till number 8, number 9. So I think this is the best team of the tournament.
Okay, so yeah, I like this team. I like the look of it. There are certain aspects regarding the Indian players that I would like to bring when we talked about the possible 11. I think people are underrating Sarfaraz Khan. I think that if we look at what he has done in the last 2 years in domestic cricket, last 2-3 years, we have to remember that in 2018 RCB retained him. Yeah, he was just 19-20. He had come back from a good under-19 World Cup, and RCB retained him. There were question marks about his attitude. There have been question marks about his attitude since he was 14 years old. But I guess he has matured a lot in the last few years, and he is batting. He's in the form of his life right now. I would go to the point saying that Sarfaraz Khan could get into the Indian side in a year or two. He is the right-handed version of Rishabh Pant. He is literally the right-handed version of Rishabh Pant. The kind of shots he can play, he's stockily built. I know fitness is something that has been questioned, but he is one of the finest hitters of the ball. He can hit it to areas where you will not have fielders. He can find gaps. He's a good player of spin bowling. I really like Sarfaraz as a player, and I think if this year he clicks, then we are going to see Sarfaraz Khan for a very long period in international cricket. In IPL, he's going to be top draw. Saying that, there's also a replacement in that position with KS Bharat. We saw him play a couple of innings for Bangalore last year. I know that he likes to play more in the top order. So there is a possibility that if KS Bharat plays, Delhi can bring Mitch Marsh to number 5 and play KS Bharat at number 3, or Delhi can bring Rishabh Pant to 5, Marsh to 4, and then play Bharat at number 3. So there is that possibility. They have possibly one of the best young Indian lineups, the backup lineup that they have, with the likes of Lalit Yadav, Ripal Patel. They've got Yash Dhul. Dhul is the World Cup winning captain, under-19 captain right now. He comes from the Delhi Capitals Academy, so he has been with them. Praveen Dubey is someone that they picked up pretty late when they needed 2 more foreign recruits. They still went out there, paid 50 lakh for Praveen Dubey. A lot of good things about him we're hearing. Vicky Ostwal, another all-rounder, a good left-arm spinner. In fact, best Indian bowler in the under-19, recently concluded under-19 tournament, along with, I would say, Ravi Kumar, the UP left-arm pace bowler. Yeah. So, and they have a player called Ashwin Hebbar, who comes from the Karnataka Premier League kind of thing, and we have seen people like Varun Chakravarti also come from that background. There are good things about him, but I'm not sure whether he will get a chance to play. If he gets, that's all well and good. But even without him, the backup Indian lineup is pretty good, and you have a Mandeep Singh also.
Absolutely,
and Mandeep has been a consistent Indian, consistent batsman in the domestic cricket, including red ball cricket. So I like that the approach that they have taken. And when we look at the pace bowling backup with Khalil Ahmed, with Kamlesh Nagarkoti, you have a Chetan Sakaria as well. So I think Delhi have covered their bases well when it comes to Indian backups, and when it comes to the foreign recruits, You have a Tim Seifert who
Who will
can
be a
replace
like-to-like replacement for David Warner if he's not
David
playing
Warner
well.
at the top of the order. Top of the order. He's a good player. Tim Seifert. I think Kolkata did not use him properly.
Yeah.
They played him in a couple of matches where he was playing pretty late. Tim Seifert is a good batsman in the top of the order. Uh, who else? You have NBD.
I think Roman Powell can be a good replacement for Mitchell Marsh if he's unfit. He's a pretty good batsman in the middle order.
So,
and yeah,
just one point about Roman Powell. There's a possibility that actually Roman Powell could play at number 6 for Delhi, and they may go with a Sakaria or a Khalil Ahmed instead of Mustafizur. So they have that flexibility to try an Indian bowler and a player like Roman Powell in the middle order, or play someone like a Lalit Yadav at number 6, whom I rate pretty highly. From whatever little I have seen of him, he hits the ball well, and he's a very underrated bowler. So if they go for Lalit Yadav, they can go for Mustafizur, who is one of the top, if not 3, one of the top 5 T20 international bowlers. And I'm pretty happy, pretty chuffed about Delhi's chances to make it to the playoffs. After that, well, it all depends. I mean, they had perhaps the best squad last year, and yet they lost in the playoffs to Chennai. So it's a bit of luck after that. But yeah,
I'm a Chennai fan. I would still hope the same this year. Although Delhi has the best squad, I would hope Chennai win it.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Delhi's.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Delhi's squad is among the most balanced, and what they did during the auction is Mumbai went the other way route. They waited and waited. Delhi acquired the players as it when they came, and they were the first team to actually closed on all the major positions within the squad. When the teams like Mumbai or KKR or RCB, they didn't even had 10 or 12 players. Delhi had actually completed their entire core. So I think that is one way to go around the auction, which some of the teams needs to learn. That is something which they did very well, I would feel in the.
There's just one. When we talk about the auction strategy, I would like to bring another important aspect to that. How Delhi operated. They actually bid for Quinton de Kock. They bid for Shikhar Dhawan. They bid for Ashwin. They did bid for Kagiso Rabada as well. And they were not mindlessly bidding. They were bidding because they wanted those players in the squad. But they had a set amount for each of those players. They went till 8 crore for both Rabada and I guess Shikhar Dhawan. They went for almost around 5 crore for Ashwin. So yes, their strategy was pretty clear. They wanted players in specific positions. Whosoever came first, they bid hard. They bid for Deepak Chahar as well. They bid for Shardul Thakur. I actually wanted them to wait a bit and get Avesh Khan if they could instead of Shardul Thakur. But the moment they completed Shardul Thakur, they knew that they needed another fast bowler in there, and the next bid was for Mustafizur, whom they got at the base price. So at 12 and a half, 13 crore, you had Shardul and you had Mustafizur. That was a pretty decent buy. So I think of all the teams, I'm not sure, like, there have been mixed opinions about Delhi on social media and from experts, but I think they were pretty clear about their auction strategy, and they went out there and they did as good as they could have done.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for all the discussion and analyzing so much in detail about all the teams. And thank you all, every one of you who has been watching both of our episodes about IPL auction and what according to us could be the playing 11 for all the 10 teams. Please like and subscribe and comment on our videos, share it with your friends, and please do let us know what you feel we should improve and what are the other contents you would like to see from our end. We'll be happy to bring it to you. Just
last point before we close this. So we will be having an episode on the upcoming Ranji season. We'll be talking about Women World Cup coming in a month as well. So there's a lot more that we'll be coming up with. So I hope that you subscribe. I hope that you like and share. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.